And
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, Jamil Hassan, the Crypto Hipster, where I interview founders, entrepreneurs, executives, thought leaders, amazing people all over the world of crypto, blockchain, Web3 globally. Today, I have another amazing guest, and he is the CEO of GNOT. His name is Wes Kaplan. Wes, welcome to the show.
thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and very much was looking forward to it. So let's do it.
Awesome. I look forward to it too. And I've only done one similar conversation to what we're going to talk about today, and that was it was like a ring thing, like 2021 or two. So it's been a little while, and I'm really excited. So let's talk about it. First, though,
Yeah,
I have a question for you. I ask everybody, and I want to find out your background. So I want to find out, what is your background, and is it a logical background for what you're doing now?
absolutely. So my background's rooted in fintech and crypto, where I've spent years kind of navigating the intersection of technology, security, and user adoption. I was the CEO of Cointelegraph, a leading crypto media platform, where I oversaw growth, partnerships, content strategy, during a time when the industry was exploding. Before that, I held roles at AscendEX, Tradewind Markets, and Bank of New York, as well as JP Morgan, focusing on marketing operations and business development in digital assets and traditional finance. My education is from American University, which gave me a strong foundation in risk management and business. And I think it's absolutely logical for leading GNOT. In crypto, I've seen firsthand how security vulnerabilities like hacks, lost keys, hinder mass adoption. At Cointelegraph, I saw countless stories of breaches costing billions. And I would say that definitely fueled my passion for better solutions. So transitioning to GNOT, which combines biometrics and blockchain, just feels like a natural evolution for me. And applying my fintech expertise and managerial expertise to solve these real world problems is what gets me excited every day to show up and make a difference at GNOT.
Excellent. Awesome. So I want to find out, I might have some questions about Cointelegraph later on, and maybe we'll see. Um,
Sure.
but I want to find out first, what GNOT is all about, including your vision and your mission, and what made you transition over to GNOT from Cointelegraph.
Sure. So GNOT's pioneering the world's first finger vein biometric crypto wallet. It's powered by patent technology from our sister company, eTunnel, a Seoul-based research and development leader in the biometric industry. They've been working on this for almost, I would say, a decade, and have struck deals with companies or large institutions such as the UN. But at our core, what we're doing is we're replacing fragile passwords and recovery phrases with secure live finger vein scanning that requires blood flow to authenticate. And it makes it basically impossible to spoof with fakes or even severed fingers. Your private keys are generated directly from your unique vascular patterns, and stored on locally, on our encrypted device, which is a cold wallet solution. We support the major blue chip coins such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, XRP, and more. And we use zero knowledge proofs to ensure privacy and compliance, so no biometric data really leaves your device or hits a central server. Our vision is a future where digital identity and asset security and biometrics are all fully user centric, which entail will empower people to own their data without trade offs in convenience or safety. And our mission is to deliver the most secure, frictionless Web3 authentication user ecosystem, kind of fusing AI, biometrics, and blockchain to eliminate hacks, lost keys, and outdated security. We started with crypto wallets, but we're quickly expanding to enterprise access. We already have stuff like Smart ID cards, fingerprint ID cards, iris, and I would say that's our bread and butter, as well as we will be launching a token later, probably Q1 of 2026.
So, so that I understand, you know, use vein to get information from veins, right? So from blood, right? So
Yeah,
this might be a dumb question, but or maybe I'm dumb. Can you not deposit or withdraw unless some kind of application has some of your blood on it, and then it reads that? Like, how does it actually work from like the layperson's practical perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So what it does is it scan, and I can show you in a few minutes. But what it does is it scans a person's vascular patterns, rhythm, beats, and it uses AI to confirm this is who you say you are, and zero knowledge proofs. So really, what it's doing is we have this GNOT device, and it has a subdermal camera um, within the system, and the subdermal camera is reading your vascular patterns and just autonomy, if you will. And so it requires live blood flow. So everybody always asks, "What happens if my finger gets cut off?" Right? You can scan up to 8 different fingers. You could scan a relative, a spouse, a friend, a colleague, and that helps eliminate single points of failure. But yeah, it requires live blood flow, and it's super tamper-proof resistant. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the most, if not the most safe way to use biometrics for access control.
Got it. So I used to do a finger prick to test my blood sugar. Now I use the Dexcom patch, right? So it'd be like similar to like doing the finger prick, right?
Somewhat. So it doesn't take any of your blood. It doesn't require any blood. It just reads your blood flow and your vascular pattern. So with the finger prick, you're taking a little bit of blood out, right? Here, what it's reading is your vascular identity.
Okay. So I've heard so when WorldCoin first came out, right? People were scanning people's irises,
Mhm.
and a lot of countries, a lot of countries had a problem with that. Okay, so where are we at as far as countries and companies embracing the technology and seeing it as maybe a better alternative than the irises, and where your road path is to be able to get this adopted and out in front of the population.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say that WorldCoin's iris scanning approach in 2023 highlighted a lot of key lessons. And the most important of them being is privacy must be paramount. I think they face some global scrutiny from regulators like GDPR, enforcers of Europe and South Korea and Argentina. And really, investigations revealed issues with centralized biometric data. And so at GNOT, we keep all of our data encrypted on device using zero knowledge proof rollups for immutable logging without exposing the info. Basically, in layman terms, we keep everything local on device, and we use zero knowledge proofs to confirm you are who you say you are. Um, I think that Iris is a very powerful technology, and it definitely is a strong form of biometric authentication, but it's spoofable. There was a TV show about Yellowstone National Park, and they were looking. This is just an example, and they were looking to unlock an iPhone, and so they went up to the person's body from that they were investigating and unlocked it by putting the camera to their face and unlocking the phone. Or you could use masks or clones. So I would say that it basically became an issue for WorldCoin of centralized data usage or data compilation. And Iris does have its flaws. So when we made our cold wallet, we wanted to focus on a seamless user experience where security is really an afterthought. And it's as simple as scanning your finger. And that's really it.
Very cool. So that adds security, and then I'm not at risk of like being hacked on an exchange.
Exactly. Your wallet is cold, if you will, right? Until you start to make a transfer where I would say it goes warm, but it's protected by your unique key, which is your biometrics, and your blood flow.
Very cool. So I want to find out overall, generally, some of the balances, benefits, and the challenges also, of biometric cryptography.
Yeah. So I would say the benefits are that you are the key, really, in the sense that you don't need to use a sophisticated password, a one-time password, a pass key. You are the pass key. And I think that's really strong. I would say in terms of the wallet, some of the benefits are, let's say you're a tennis player and you just finished playing tennis, right? Your hands might be a little sweaty. That might make something like a fingerprint ID card or a fingerprint wallet tougher to recognize your fingerprint at all, right? With our product, you could literally dip your hand in water and it will still read your vascular patterns. It also is able to be in unique climates. It could go up to 120 degrees. It can go, I believe, below freezing. Um, and it will still work. It's designed after a hockey puck, really, so that it's as indestructible as possible with AMOLED screens, touch activation. The idea is, like I said earlier, security being an afterthought, knowing that you're protected. And so what we do is super unique. And ideally, what we're going to be able to do in the next coming months is use multi-sig with this. So you could have multiple vein scans, which eliminate single points of failure and wrench attacks and things that we saw in France or in Soho. And that's the whole idea. We wanted to bring what we know in traditional access control to the Web3 world. And that's exactly what we've done.
Got it. So in cases like, I had a couple heart attacks back in 2018, and
I'm sorry.
that's okay. I recovered. I'm good. I'm good now. my,
Yeah,
actually,
looking great.
yeah, thank you. I actually saw my cardiologist today, and he's like, "I'll see you back in a year." I'm like, "That's the longest I've ever needed to like wait to see him again." And my EKG has changed. My heart has changed. Gotten better. And then people, over time, people who are using, of course, GNOT in your device, they might have the same issue where their patterns change, their vascular patterns change, or their heart improves or gets worse, right? How do you capture the changes in people's internal systems so that the device recognizes that they are them?
Absolutely. So, in terms of vascular patterns and vascular structure, that does not change regardless of the rate of the heart or the change in biometric or biological autonomy. Uh, as you age, you could be 2 years old when you scanned your finger. At 100 years old, it will still work, and that's the whole idea in combining AI and subdermal cameras. We're able to read your vascular patterns, your blood flow, and specifically the different characteristics that make you unique, regardless of what time in your life this occurs. Now, in terms of duress, that's something we're actively exploring, right? What if a you're in a position and your heart rate's increasingly going high? How do I handle that? And that's something that we absolutely have the technology to do, but we really are believers in giving our users the luxury of choice. So we don't want to have their device shut down if they have 2 cups of coffee. So what we're thinking is we're gonna make it a toggle functionality where you can toggle something like that on and off, and that's future and down the line in the roadmap. But yeah, that's kind of how we see it. And in terms of time, your vascular patterns and your rhythms, they're all super unique to you. And so if one thing may adjust, uh, it's still unique to your characteristics of your autonomy.
Got it. Yeah, I went to one appointment with him back in 2019 or 2020, and it was when Bitcoin had just moved up like $15,000 in like 5 minutes earlier. He's like, "Your blood pressure is like 200 over 180. What happened?" I was like, "The price of Bitcoin went up." So, you know, um,
Your resting heart rate has adjusted.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So with your device and invention, what I'm thinking is that more people will be able to become self-sovereign individuals, right? How that works.
Absolutely. Yeah. So basically, it's very similar to Ledger Treasure. You're able to connect your wallet eventually to various exchanges and different third party platforms. But the idea is your keys, your control, your wallet, your custody. And what we're doing is we're empowering our users to have the luxury of choice in how they want to manage their custody of their digital assets. And that's what we strive for every day, is to give our users the most secure, intuitive, sleek experience. It's not just a brand. We believe this is also a form of lifestyle, if you will.
So okay, I like that lifestyle. So along with lifestyle is identity, right? And there's been a lot of snafus and points where people claim one of the promises of blockchain is identity for the unidentified, right? And we still have billion or so, a few billion people on the earth who do not have an identity. So how would this approach be able to, have breakthroughs on identity management and then help the unidentified population become identified going forward?
Breakthrough. So I think that's an interesting question. I think that what we're able to do is, like, we don't keep central logs of everybody who's buying our product. Like, yes, we keep logs of shipping and whatnot, but if you want to order a wallet, everything's locally hosted. We're not downloading who you are or what you do. We're using zero knowledge proofs to help us facilitate that. And so privacy is paramount and something that we adhere to all global regulations. And I can't even tell you how much effort we put into making sure that everything is compliant and seamless. But for the unidentified, it's still easily accessible to them. All they can pay with crypto, they can pay with a credit card, they could ship it to an entity, they can put it in the name of a business. Um, what what we are sensitive towards is just making sure that there's no illicit activity going on. And that's something that can be monitored via wallet addresses as well, and with powerful software and technology that exists. And for the security of our platform, I can't go into exactly how we do that, but I can assure you that we take privacy extremely, extremely seriously. And we don't want that to come at the compromise of security or user experience. So this is a tool for everybody, and that's how we've designed it. And as long as you have a vascular blood flow, it will work for you.
Great. I kind of hope my blood's still flowing. So,
Yes.
yeah. Um, I do want to hear about the efforts that you put into privacy, because privacy seems to be today to be a very big deal. A lot of narrative around private, crypto runs on narrative, right? A lot of narrative around privacy. So, what are some of the truths about privacy, and what are some of the misnomers? And then, what efforts did you undertake to ensure privacy?
Great question. So in terms of the misnumbers, I would say that, think about when you go through Clear or you go through an airport. You're subscribing to connect your biometrics to an identity. And the unfortunate part about that is you're giving away very critical information about your biometrics. This can be solved with zero knowledge proofs and zero knowledge rollups, in order to confirm you are who you say you are without compromising your personal information. And I think that is kind of a flaw in the current system. In terms of privacy for us, what we did is we designed a device that is able to use the combination of blockchain, financial technology, AI, and local encryption in order to still verify your identity, but without giving the details of who's behind that, basically through encryption. And that's what's paramount to us. So, like I said, I can't go into some of our providers that we use for KYC AML, but what we do is we make sure that we're adhering to all the global security standards. We have a team of 30 people based out of Seoul who just focus on on the technology and the research and development. And a large part of that is ensuring privacy integrity and ensuring that um, it is as spoof proof resistant as anything else out there on the market and better. And so that's what we do.
Got it. You did say illicit activity. So I'm thinking in terms of like criminal things, but there's and you mentioned earlier, you mentioned France. So I want to find out how you solve like major criminal like events such as there was French crypto kidnapping plots and other plots around the world. So how you go ahead and be able to be, kind of like chain analysis solves it on a blockchain level, but how you're able to solve it on a biometric level.
Well, really, we're not solving it on a biometric level. We're solving it on a blockchain level because, in terms of the biometrics, we don't want to compromise user identity. But in terms of the blockchain level, we're working with firms like them in order to ensure that all compliance is met, needs are met, AML, KYC, blacklisted wallets, things of that nature. So if something comes onto our radar that is concerning to us, we, by just by the nature of doing the right thing, we will inform. We can inform authorities if need be, right? In terms of us shutting, we if we needed to, I need to get back to you on what I don't think that we could just shut off a wallet. But I do believe that we could temporarily suspend a wallet if need be. The idea being that we just need to make sure that we're in compliance with local and international governments and that nothing is being facilitated and that all laws are being followed. But we're not going to give up user identities as a compromise. That said, if it becomes a situation where we need to, we could pause, suspend, ask you to contact us, and go from there. And that's kind of how we handle situations of that nature.
Got it. I like what you said. You said do the right thing. And if when I'm on X a lot, I don't see those words. Do the right thing. I see do the wrong thing a lot. But it brings up the important concept of blockchain ethics. Okay, so what should be some blockchain ethics that are related to biometric data, biometric cryptography, that and help guide people along what to determine what is the right thing.
Yeah, sure. So I think the first thing is people should offer the most secure way of using your biometrics in a way that protects your privacy. Um, I think that addresses need to be scanned for compliance and monitoring. But at the end of the day, everybody needs to take a look in the mirror and say, am I doing this with moral integrity? And that is key because at least everybody on my team and everybody that we work with are people of very high character. And that's the almost airport test, that layover test that we do, right? If I got stuck at an airport, would I be miserable? Would I feel like you would be, doing something unethical? And so I think that the real moral fabric here or framework is that people need to act in the best interest of their customers, and customers need to do things compliantly and follow the rules, and that starts with regulation. And with clear frameworks and regulation, we are able to adhere to them in a manner that's better than following it through enforcement. because we know the rules in the playbook and we can easily follow it. And so really the goal and the job of someone like us is to do everything to protect our users, to do everything to provide a secure wallet, and to constantly make sure that people are following their moral compass on and off chain.
I think we've seen a shift, right? Under the Biden presidency, under the Gensler regime, it was regulation by enforcement, and a lot of that didn't work, right? Now the laws seem to be like regulation. I know is something that is embraced, but I don't know. Like I don't know if we're there. I mean, we got there with the stablecoin bill, right? But where do we need to be as far as regulation to open up the rest of this industry, especially in the U.S., but elsewhere? Like, what do you see as still a gap, missing gaps, and what needs to be addressed?
Absolutely. I think that the listing process needs to be addressed. Exchanges, market makers need to be addressed in terms of how that works, order flow, um, and whatnot. I think stablecoins, that was a wonderful act that was passed. But what we're seeing with people like Brian Armstrong talking to 50 senators in a day, that's what we need. We need people having conversations who are in it with the people who are legislating it. And if we can combine those two, which we are seeing right now, politics aside, that will be better for the industry moving forward. And so, just like we did with stablecoins in the stablecoin bill, we need to do that with multiple facets of the industry, whether that's KYC AML, exchange listing standards, um, order book standards, and really bring that to the forefront so that they're clear and really have the opportunity to have a dialogue with the industry and the regulators so that when we have questions, we have someone to talk to and somebody to guide us and somebody to work with us or help us lift under the hood from it and say, this is, we did an audit here. This is the areas of our concern, and then work with us to alleviate it.
Got it. I don't even know who the market makers are now. But things have changed and shifted, right? It seems like to me like like Binance made the market last month when everything dropped, but I'm looking at like controls and ability to like make things improve things. So what do you, like? How does that happen?
I'm sorry. So you're saying, how does it happen that the government helps improve market making?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think that there's all sorts of market making for all different stages of projects. And what they need to look at is the different models in which these companies operate, um, where they're buying and selling and what size, how they're actually keeping spreads as tightly as possible. Um, and then things for like IEOs, right? What's going into that, making sure that there's not pump and dump schemes, and making sure that these businesses are KYC'd and registered appropriately. And so what we need is the biggest market makers and the little market makers as well, to sit down almost in a roundtable like discussion and state their concerns, state how they operate, and then and then have the government formulate some strategic guidance and rules and frameworks in order for these market makers to follow.
yeah. I'd like to see that.
Me
So
too.
yeah, that'd be good. So
That probably
so
won't make me the most popular person in the world, but you gotta do the right thing, like we just discussed,
yep.
and
I
that's the
like
right thing.
yeah. I like the approach toward blockchain ethics and towards the right thing. That's great. Thank you. So I want to thank you very much for coming on the show today. I enjoyed speaking with you. And I really have one last question. It's how can people find out more information about you, about GNOT? How can they get that device and start using it?
Yeah. So I'm pleased to announce that next week we'll be launching our pre-sale where you'll be able to order your device and it will arrive in early 2026. We're looking at the first half of January. You can go to g-not.io and check out our products and services. And in the next week, you'll see our page up for our pre-sale, and it will be intuitive, easy. You'll be able to buy our cold wallet with crypto or fiat, and we'll ship internationally and domestically. And yeah, we're very excited about it, and I'm happy to give you a quick preview if you'd like,
Sure.
if time permits, of
Yes.
what the vascular pattern scanning looks like. So let me just turn this on. I just turned it on. We're going to go to the camera. And I'm just going to get up so I can show it to you clearly.
Okay.
This is what it looks like in terms of your vascular blood flow. So as you can see here, that's my vascular patterns. And that's what it's confirming. It's kind of hard to do on this camera, but I think you can kind of get the gist of it. Really, really reading your vascular identity. And you can adjust the screen to zoom in a little bit more. Sorry, the glare. But anyway, that's how it works. And it's available on our website starting next week. And we can't wait to share it with the world.
Awesome. Awesome. I look forward to seeing it. And I think it's a good idea for me too, to get it. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time today.
It was my pleasure. Thanks.